Ladies and gentlemen, it's the reigning, defending, undisputed fantasy hockey streaming champion of the world. It's the Stream King.
Hello everyone, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Hope everyone is doing okay. Apologies for the not full stream scheme this week. I'm not even using my mic right now. Again, apologies for everything. But I thought about canceling the show, and I was like, no, I at least got to hop on and give, at the very least, like a streamlined stream scheme where I can just, I at least owe it to my lovely, lovely co-hosts from last week to give them a proper grading of their picks so they can see if they actually have now a career winning or losing record for their streaming picks on the stream scheme. So we'll get that into a little bit here and obviously talk about the week ahead, but it's pretty obvious. But hopefully everyone is enjoying these couple days off here for the Christmas break, even if you don't celebrate the holiday or anything like that. If you're anything like myself and if you're listening to this podcast, odds are you also go pretty hard in the paint for fantasy hockey, if you will. So it's important that when you have these days off, even if you don't have any friends or family or anything like that, just do something else. Get your mind off hockey a little bit, play some video games, read some books, all that kind of fun stuff. So, but yeah, I do have some picks for you. But first, we're going to review the picks from last week, like I said, because we're all about accountability here on the stream scheme. I'll go over my co-host picks first. We got to start off with Twitterless Mason. He had, and obviously going to go real quick through all this stuff, guys. Don't worry. I said it's going to be a streamlined stream scheme, which I'm sure some people will love because a lot of people just like to skip to the last minute anyways and stuff like that. But that's okay. A listener is a listener is a listener is a listener, like they say, like Mason always says. And speaking of Mason, his picks here, Hagel was a loss. Krejci was a win. Hold on, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, but that was correct, though. Hagel was a loss. Krejci was a win. Now, Atkinson. Mason claims that this was a push. I told him during the show, like, you can't pick an injured person, and then if he's injured, say it's a push. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. It's a loss for Atkinson, loss for Pinto, win for Erod, loss for Shea, loss for Matheson. He tried to give a push on Matheson, too. I said, no way, Jose. Win on Kuzmenko, loss on Martin, win on LeBanc, win on Miramonov, and a loss on Brassard. That's 5 for 12. That's an official loss here for Twitterless Mason. But, Mason, I did say if you want to grade yourself, I'll include your self-grade since I obviously grade myself. I'll allow you to do the same. Mason, he did not take the high road. He claims that he's 5 for 10 with 2 injury pushes. You guys know how I feel about that. No, 5 for 12. That's an official loss here on the stream scheme for Mason. Let's move to PJ here. He had Hagel was a loss. Krejci was a win. Arvidsson was a win. Sherry was a win. Eberle was a loss. Fowler was a loss. Parayko was a big win. Jenner got injured. We can count that as a push here. Martin was a loss. Brassard was a loss. LeBanc was a win. And Saad was a loss. Overall, that's 5 for 11 for our good pal PJ. That is unfortunately a loss for him. And Elon, he went Krejci was a win. Hagel was a loss. Comfort was a loss. Sorry. Shiri was a win. McCann was a win. Fowler was a loss. Miramonov was a win. Jenner got injured. Reamer was a loss. Beauvillier was a win. LeBanc was a win. Nason was a win. So altogether for Elon, that's 7 for 12. That's our first ever guest win here on the stream scheme. And so not only the rich get richer, right? Not only is he the tier 1, the best fantasy hockey player in the world, but he's also pretty darn good at picking some streamers as well, apparently. 7 for 12 for Elon. So congratulations, buddy. You earned the win there. And also I had picks as well. I kind of do this thing every week, I guess as well. I had Barbashev was a loss. Freddie Gaudreau, Freddie Hockey was a win. Eberle was a loss. Sherry was a win. Sharangovich was a win. He's out there pumping goals even though he's only getting like 10 minutes of ice time. Lindell was a loss. Scott Mayfield was a win. He's a porous beast, dude. I'll tell you what. Billy Carlson was a win. Brian Elliott lost. Ugh. Every single host picked a bad goalie pick. We went 0 for 4 on our goalie picks. No bueno, that's for sure. If anyone ever wants to start up a fantasy hockey show, or like how can I get into podcasting fantasy, just start picking goalies. If you can establish yourself as like someone who's reliable at picking nothing but goalies, I will follow you. Like straight up. But yeah, and then Derek Brassard was a loss. Kotkaniemi was a win. And Ty Dellandrea was a loss altogether. That's 6 for 12, which does meet our 50% threshold. So that is another win on the season. I think we're like 9-1 now, 10-1, something like that. We haven't lost other than our first week of the season. I don't know what else to do to try and get myself a loss. We'll see this week because I'm only picking from 2 teams. We'll be back right after with our picks for the week, right after this quick break. Hang around. But yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, you already know, because I tweeted out after the games on Wednesday. I believe it was Thursday morning. I was like, hey, just so you know, everyone remember that it's just a week with 5 days of games. No games on Saturday, no games on Sunday. So if you're sitting pretty in your matchup, like you can kind of trust the projected points at that point. And then it's just, maybe you can start looking ahead to next week. I know I could because, believe it or not, my couple team actually won a game this week. Granted, it was against the worst team in the league who refused to draft a forward in a 14-team points league until the 6th round. But, hey, they don't ask how. They just ask how many. You guys know this. And so I'll take the win there. But, yeah, I was able to pick up some people for next week because I was confident that I was going to get the win relatively easily this past week. So that was nice. But I said on Twitter, I was like, hey, start looking towards next week if you can. The 2 teams that you're going to want to be looking at, the Kraken and the Devils. They're the only 2 teams that play 3 light days next week. Other than that, there's 4 teams that play 2 light games. That's the Carolina Hurricanes, the Florida Panthers, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Anaheim Ducks. But the Anaheim Ducks don't count because they only played 2 games total. So that's kind of not worth it from them. But really, I'm just looking at those 3 light days, the Devils and the Kraken, because those teams are both great for streamers, obviously. So it kind of works out here. So I was just like, you know what? Streamlined stream scheme. I'm just picking all of my streamers from those 2 teams. And so my picks from Seattle are Jared McCann. Very chalked pick here. That's what everyone is going to pick if they have a streaming show this week. The next one, Oliver Bjorkstrand, the guy fell all the way down to 10% rostered. Just no reason why he should be down there. He scored a goal and an assist with 6 shots in his last game. He had 5 shots the game before that, 3 shots the game before that. So if nothing else, he's at least going to pile up the shots for you. So I love that there. If nothing else, just as a streamer for this week. But hopefully, Bjorkstrand gets going and he's able to get on a roll and can become a hold. So McCann, Bjorkstrand, Eberle was actually a pick that some of us had last week. It didn't work out. He didn't score any points, but he will score at least 1 point this week. I give you a Davey B guarantee. And what is a Davey B guarantee, you ask? Well, you can, if it doesn't work, you get permission, like 1 free ticket to give me a swift punch to the stomach, which only some of you can actually register in real life. So, but those people are all nice, and they wouldn't actually hurt me. At least I hope. But yeah, Eberle's my 3rd pick. Let's go with Schwartz, Jaden Schwartz from the Kraken is my 4th pick. He's 5% rostered. He also shoots a decent amount. He's got 17 points so far in the season, 2 points in his last 2 games. He's my 4th Kraken. My 5th Kraken is going to be Yanni Gourde. Like, he doesn't really shoot as much, but he's usually good for some points. He had a long point streak there going for a while, but none in his last 2. So hopefully he can get that going again. And then I'll take a defender. I guess I'll take Justin Schultz. He's 17% rostered. I think he quarterbacks 1 of the power play in the Kraken. They're dumb and do that stupid thing where they split up their lines and power plays. I wish they would just kind of stack, Bjorkstrand, McCann, Beniers, Eberle. And I guess, if you want to take a shallow league streamer, you can go Matty Beniers. He's 42% rostered. That guy's awesome. I love Beniers. But yeah, those are my picks from the Kraken. And then moving on to the other team that has 3 light games with 3 light days, it's the Devils. And for them, let's just go in order here. Eric Holla, or actually, let me look at the last game lines via Frozen Tools, sponsor of the show. Well, sponsor of Keeping Karlsson, who sponsors this show. So we're still under the Dauber Hockey Frozen Tools umbrella here at the Stream Scheme. But yeah, Eric Holla, at least as of last game, was still skating with Jasper Bratt and Jack Hughes. So he's going to be our top pick from New Jersey. After that, let's see here. Got to go with Tomas Tatar. He's on the top power play there in New Jersey. He's only 9% rostered. He's got 3 points in his last 2 games. So Thomas Tatar is my second pick from New Jersey. My third pick has got to be, I'll go with Dawson Mercer. I think he's the most well-rounded from the Devils that are left. He's 16% rostered right now. He's kind of hit or miss, but Dawson Mercer, holy cow, this guy's our DUE pick of the week. No points in Dawson Mercer for his last 6 games, which is quite impressive. He's center and right wing eligible. We always love to see that. So Dawson Mercer is my third pick from the Devils this week. After that, I'll go with Miles Wood, actually. He doesn't score a lot, only 1 point in his last, what is it here? It almost looks like his last 8 or 9 games for Miles Wood. But he does shoot a lot. It looks like he almost kind of gets 3 shots a game almost. 86 shots on the season right now for Miles Wood, which ranks him 4th, only behind Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, and Dougie Hamilton in shots for the Devils. So that's a fun fact you can tell at parties. So yeah, Miles Wood will be my next streamer after him. My 5th streamer from the Devils is going to be Igor Sharangovich, who came through for me last week. Whatever. I'm only picking through 2 teams, so I'm allowed to make repeat picks back to back. I'll go Sharangovich. He was a win for me last week. Can he be a win for me again this week? I don't know. He's got 17 goals. Or not 17 goals, 10 goals, 17 points, 65 shots on the year for Sharangovich. He's my 5th pick. And I guess if I got to get a defender from the Devils, I'll go Jonas Sigent Haller. I apologize. I do not know how to pronounce that. But he gets a lot of periffs, and that's what we love to see. So if you can just pile up those periffs and maybe even get a stray point as well, that would be very much appreciated. So there we have it. I apologize again for the streamlined stream scheme. It still ended up being longer than I thought. I thought it was just going to be 5 minutes. Still ended up somehow being close to a regular episode. But my picks for the week starting on Monday, December 26th, 2022, even though that NHL games don't return until Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. Either way, the streamer picks for the matchup ending, how about let's just say January 1st, 2023, ooh, how about that, are the following. From the Seattle Kraken, we have Jared McCann, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Jordan Eberle, Jaden Schwartz, Yanni Gourde, and Justin Schultz. And then from the Devils, we have Eric Holla. That's the guy playing with Bratt and Hughes. We have Tomas Tatar. That's the guy on the top power play. Then we've got Dawson Mercer, well-rounded. Miles Wood gets the shots. Igor Sharangovich, he's been hot, but I don't know if he can keep it up. And then for a defender, Jonas Siegenthaler. And again, apologies if I said that wrong. A lot of stuff going on right now, and it is Christmas. So hopefully if I did pronounce that wrong, he is in a loving and forgiving spirit. So yeah, apologize that there's no music and this, that, and the other, but at least we were able to keep our co-hosts accountable by grading their picks and give you guys some picks as well. I know obviously we were just picking from those 2 teams, but a lot of good streamers from those 2 teams. And really the heavy days are heavy this week, so make sure that you're picking up players on those light days. And if you pick players from any one of those that I mentioned, from the Devils or the Seattle Kraken, you'll be in a good spot. But if you don't want to do that, I would probably just recommend picking up goalies. Like I picked up Casey DeSmith in a lot of leagues. Aiden Hill also has a back-to-back for that Tuesday to Wednesday. All that fun stuff. So there we have it. Follow us all on Twitter. Follow me at NHL Stream Scheme. Follow Ben and Lewis at Short Shifts KK, and follow Elon and Brian at Keeping Carlson. And obviously, I think they just put out a show yesterday, so no other show from them today. But they'll might be back next week. Next week's a little tricky too, because what is it? New Year's Eve is on Saturday. New Year's Day is on Sunday. That'll be tricky. Maybe I'll probably try and get the show out maybe on like 30th, like a Friday show, or maybe early on the 31st before any kind of shenanigans start going down. But yeah, there you go, have it. Yeah, if you guys have any questions on anything, like I said, hit me up on Twitter at NHL Stream Scheme. And as always, as the legendary Moose Vasco once said, the future belongs to those who believe in their streams. See ya.